How do we deal with self-esteem issues when they stem from cultural messaging? Dr. Shelly Harrell says that many clients carry these implicit beliefs about who they are and what they deserve. Here, Shelly focuses on how to get to the root of these beliefs. She offers several approaches that she uses to help clients work through them.
Family members and sometimes society gives messages of less value and less worth. So negative stereotypes about different racial ethnic groups, about people with different sexual orientations. We have, stereotypes. Nobody is free from stereotypes, right? But I think the extent to which those social stereotypes become internalized and people begin to believe, well, maybe I'm not as smart, or maybe I'm not as attractive, right? When we use external standards of beauty or again, internalized negative stereotypes, that can play a role in that sense of not being good enough. So I think there's, those layers of social comparison, what we may internalize from family, but also what we may internalize from the world around us through negative stereotypes, that all of that contributes. So helping clients kind of tease that out, where does this come from? Where does this sense that, I teach at UCLA in the summertime, and I teach in a program that's for transfer students. So students who are coming from community college and been accepted to UCLA as a four-year university, they come in as a junior. A lot of these students, are students from historically underrepresented groups, Latino, African American students, and they come to UCLA sometimes feeling like, I don't belong here. How did I get here? This sort of imposter syndrome is maybe a broader term that all of us can, relate to, but that imposter syndrome. And part of what I work with them on is, where do you get that message that you don't belong here? So just trying to deconstruct that, where does that come from, right? Why do you believe that? And sometimes it is a matter of kind of raising consciousness that, oh, this does come from my believing the stereotypes that are out there about my group, and how much I've taken that in and think that it's true that I don't belong here. So again, the process of understanding where some of those messages may come from, whether it be family or society, those messages of deficit and negative attributions. Some other kind of things I think about in working with people who feel like they're not good enough. There's been a lot of research and the development of interventions around this notion of self-compassion, and I think that's powerful and work, and I think very important. Being aware of the extent to which we judge ourselves and we actually believe those negative, harsh voices in our minds that say we're not good enough, and being able to help clients access a sense of compassion and forgiveness and kindness directed to themselves, I think is really, really important and powerful work. Sort of out of this CBT frame, I'll often kind of say to clients, don't believe everything you think. So the notion that we can have thoughts and identify where those thoughts come from and recognize that they're there without believing them. Without believing them. We can't always make them completely disappear, but we can alter our relationship to those harsh judgments and critical places that keep us perhaps in that sense of not being worthy, not being valuable, not being good enough. So I think that notion of not believing everything we think, but also having compassion for those thoughts being there in the first place, right? It makes complete sense that you would have that thought. It makes complete sense that, given the family environment or given the sociocultural environment that would somehow, enter into your consciousness is understandable, right? But we can work on how much you believe that and how much you believe that to be true.
As Shelley said, it's not always about eliminating these comparison standards. It's more about acknowledging them and shifting the way that we deal with them. Now I'd like to hear from you. What approaches have you used in working with clients who feel like they're never good enough? Please leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.